Welcome back. So yeah, I heard this horrible whining sound and I was trying to figure out exactly what it was, and it turns out it was actually just the comment section of my last video, so no big deal. Anyway, back to work. So I've got these 4130 plates that I'm doing and putting a beveled 45-degree angle on the edges there, so they're sort of somewhat aerodynamic. And I created a little template of the holes that I'd already drilled in the bottom of the fuselage, and just transferred those over to the plates themselves and drilled those. And then I've got these other little short ones here that I'm going to put nut plates on, and they're going to be what's going to clamp from the inside. So the goal of this is not only to stop or prevent the pulleys from flexing, but also to sort of sandwich them in there so there's no way that they can ever delaminate from the inside skin of the lower fuselage there. So I've got my AN3 hardware, so that's going to go through there like that, and then that'll go through the bottom of the fuselage and then up through into the bracket for the pulley, and then this will go in on the top. And the idea of the extension there is to prevent any sort of twisting, so the extensions go in towards where the cable's pulling from. So hopefully it prevents it from any sort of twisting going on there as well. So after installing those, this is the one in the front, just to show you there's no real movement going on there. Sorry for the fuselage moving, but I was pushing pretty hard on the stick there. It was actually rocking the whole ship. But there's no real flexing per se going on that bracket there, and this is what it looks like from the inside. And this is in real time, and I'll show it to you sped up in a second. You can see there's a little bit of flexing still going on. It's very, very minor. And I've talked to Justin about this, and he seems to be okay if there's just a little bit of flexing on there, as long as there's no chance of delamination. So as you can see, that bracket in there, there's no way that that's ever going to come sort of delaminated from that fuselage skin. And this is the one in the back that you saw last time, and as you can see, there's still a tiny little bit of movement in there. It's mainly just sort of fore and aft there. There's not really any up and down movement going on. That's all been completely stopped by having that bracket underneath. So pretty happy with how that one turned out, and in a quicker time this is what it looks like. It's sped up about 3 times there. So just a tiny bit of movement there, and as I said, as long as it's not going to come delaminated, I'm okay with it, and so is Justin. And this is what it looks like there from the side view. So those plates don't look that bad at all, really. They just kind of look like some sort of fixture or whatever. Now these are the last 2 ones that are potentially could delaminate, and these are up inside that back bulkhead, and you see there's a tiny little bit of flexing going on there, but I'm more concerned about them becoming delaminated. So the goal on that one is to take the pulleys out. As you can see here, I've removed the pulley, and I did it on both sides there, and I've actually already drilled a hole there. You can see up the top there. I've drilled a hole that goes all the way through that little bulkhead through to the pulley bracket on the other side, and I'm going to put in there some sort of trimmed down wide area washers and an AN3 bolt, and you see there's a leftover Cleco in there that never got removed. I actually tried to remove it, but it was sort of bonded in place. Anyway, so up the top there, not sure if you can see, but in between the 2 brackets there, that's the other side of the hole. So I'm just going to narrow up some wide area washers there and put them in place there. And as you can see, this is the one with the nut up in there. So now these 2 are bolted together. There's no way that can delaminate there, that the high sole could fail and that could peel away from that inside bulkhead. And there's the head on the other side with a wide area washer trimmed down to fit in there. So I'm happy now that all the pulleys, there's just no way that they can come unaffixed from where they are, or delaminated or whatever. So that makes me feel a lot better, that you can mash on that stick as hard as you want and you're not going to break anything. So next project, I got 2 of these converters in. I'm waiting on the 3rd one to arrive. They're 12 volts down to 5 volts, and they can handle 20 amps each. There's my relay that I had before, so that's going to run in through a 20 amp fuse to each one, and then the 5 volts coming out of here is going to connect to each one of those 3 is going to connect to 2 separate glow plugs. And the glow plugs, turns out, they're 4.4 volts, so I'm sending 5 to them, and they can handle, or they pull 8.8 amps, and so 2 together 17.6 amps, and I've got them on a 20 amp converter with a 20 amp fuse, so that should be okay. Anyway, still got to get the hardware for that and get that finished off, and then I'll be on to the next little project. That's my update for the rest of this week. Thanks again for watching, and tune in again on Tuesday.